Congratulations. Where's the motivation?
Get a bigger studio, mate. I don't understand why you got stuck in the studio.
Yeah, you're
Sorry,
right
mate. Go on, carry on.
2 games. Where's the motivation from here for the rest of the season?
Well, just being footballers, really, and people in football. Whether you're playing in the garden against your little one or whether you're playing out here training, these type of people want to win games and win competitions, and of course we've won the league, which is fantastic. But the nature of this group, I think they'll want to see it through till the end, and hopefully when there's no pressure as such, like there hasn't been pressure on Macclesfield for a long time, and they've had their best run. So it should be a good football match, and I'm sort of looking forward to it, because you always look forward to a game at the end of the week, and these lads will be no different.
Are you watching out for signs that you can use in negotiations with players when it comes to contracts for next season?
Yeah, I'm hoping they're all going to be rubbish on Saturday, and then I'm in the driving seat for negotiations. I've worked pretty hard in the weeks leading up to this in preparation, really, because you have to be ready, and of course a million agents have all rung me and my brother to ask whether there's a possibility of their player joining us, because obviously it's going back into the Football League, and I think people have seen the pictures, they've seen the reports, and they know it's a happy place, and so we have to cipher through all them as well. So it's just one of them weeks where we've really enjoyed it. We have enjoyed it. We enjoyed Saturday. I enjoyed the break and the rest on Sunday. I gave them Sunday and Monday off, but they were in Tuesday, and they all came back. Just the one or two casualties, as I've said, but they've recovered, and just one or two that were overhydrated. So overhydrated? No, it's probably not right. That were not hydrated enough. And so we've checked them, and they'll be back to normal by today. But most of the squad were hydrated, which was unbelievable, because we said they could enjoy themselves for a couple of days, but then come back ready to get involved in the league for points again.
And with that pressure just taken off, though, do you expect them to be any different in terms of, they can go out there completely and express themselves, but it's kind of what they've done all season, isn't it?
Yeah, it is what they've done all season. I mean, there will be certain players that, without the pressure, will probably perform better. There are a couple of the younger lads that we need to get them playing under pressure, giving their best game under pressure. But that's what being a young player's about here anyway. We help them, and physically, mentally, they have to improve in the games where there's a lot at stake, even in training, where there's a lot at stake coming up to the game that's coming up. So I think everybody's had a real good learning curve this year. Certainly the ones that have not been in this situation before, and they'll be better for it for sure. And I'm pleased that they've been a part of it, those younger lads, so that they can kick on and be ready for the next campaign.
And you talk about the preparation work that's gone in for this week, over the last few weeks. Have you got figures in your head for the budget yet? Has that been sort of sorted out for next season?
Well, I think it's around then. We'll have a few million, please. We have a budget meeting on Friday. I'm going to talk to the board of directors and obviously the budget directors, and put forward what I think is needed for the next campaign, and they will either agree or faint on the spot. I know the sort of state of play. I know pretty much the finances of the club, and when you go into the Football League, you have to start thinking about you can only use 55% of your intake. So that makes it more difficult for a club like Cheltenham that are getting 3,000 crowds than it is a club like Bristol Rovers who are getting 7, 8 and 9,000 crowds. 55% of that is a lot more than 55% of what we can achieve. But I'm sure there's other ways to help with investment, etc., so that we have a decent budget to compete, and that's what I'll be negotiating for. And everyone's happy to negotiate for, and if we can find the money to make us competitive, then I'm sure that'll happen. It would be nice to, normally it's the chairman saying these things, but it'd be nice to get a few players signed up quickly so that people know that we sort of mean business, and then we can get more people buying season tickets, because that's always important as well. And then we need some good gates to see our League Two campaign start off on a real good footing, because whatever happens, we're going to need to bring in probably 4 or 5 other players, because we were very short actually, and often they've got to be sort of marquee players, if you like, and that takes finances.
Talking of marquee players, one of your marquee players this season, Harry Pell.
Who said that?
I just
Harry
did.
tell you that.
Well, he's one of the few who's got a contract already for next season.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Back and available for this Saturday.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, that's good. He was unlucky to miss the big game, because I still say that he didn't do anything wrong on the day, but he certainly was a part of the celebrations, and he was certainly there and thereabouts in supporting the lads. So that was good, and I'm sure he'll be looking forward to donning his kit this week. I haven't picked the team yet, but I'm sure he'll be wanting to play, but he'll certainly be wanting to take part in part of the game if he's not playing. So he'll certainly be in the squad, which is good.
And Macclesfield, you beat them 2-0 at home back in September. I mean, that must just seem a long time ago, but an opportunity to reward the fans who've travelled away all season.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You owe it to the fans that we're spot on and we're prepared properly and fit and healthy and all that sort of stuff. They were one of the best teams at the time. I know we won 2-0, but I thought they looked decent and thought they would probably run us close. But they had a spell where they fell out of contention, but all of a sudden they found a good bit of form, and I think they're in maybe the top 2 or 3 of the form table. So it's an interesting one, because they're a good football team, and we'll have to see make sure that we're not up there just watching their football. We've got to make sure that we play a bit of football as well. And as you say, for the fans that are travelling up there, then we want to give them a game to remember, because the pressure's off all of us now. So hopefully we can relax and do something that's entertaining.
And okay on the injury front?
On the injury front, we more or less got a full bill of health. There's just a couple we've got to wait till the end of the week to decide whether they're ready or not. Keep that to myself, because nothing's, there's nobody definitely out other than Wrighty, who's obviously still got the last game of his suspension.
Thanks.
But he is fit now, actually, so he'll be ready to come into contention for next week.
Excellent. Thank you. Good luck.
Stoz is back. That was the one concern after last week.
Well, it looked all right in the celebrations, didn't it? He had a few. He was carrying a few, and he was jumping up in the air and doing triple somersaults and things like that. So no, he's had a great season, Stoz, and I'm pleased he started, because he deserved to start as a captain and as a ever present. I made the decision at half time to take him off, because the game was nearly won at 2-0, and so I think his back was fine on Tuesday when we trained, so he came back strong and fit, and like all backs, they sort of suddenly catch you, and you never know when it's gonna come. So he's gonna have to look at that over the summer and just make sure we've got a good chiropractor to help him out. It was the only game that the chap who helped him with his back couldn't get there till kick-off, which was unbelievable. Normally he's a little bit earlier, and Gav manipulates it, and we sort him out. But on this occasion, it was unbelievable. Sod's law. He felt really bad at the start of the game, but like a real soldier came through, and pleased he did.
He mentioned Gav on Saturday. How important a role has he played this season in keeping people like him on the pitch more often than
Well, listen, yeah, you know, I've had some good staffs in my time. I have at different clubs, and often it's been staff that have been already at the club. And Russell was the one that knew Gav. He recommended Gav to me, and I trust Russell's judgment 100%. And he said, no, he's a good one, and he's come in and he's done fantastic, as has all our staff. You know, Russell Milton, he sort of got lost in the party, if you like, but he's been magnificent and fantastic to work with. Tim Bell's worked really hard. He's been good. You know, we've got a very small staff: Steve Book, Ian Endon, Gavin Crowe, Russell, of course, and that has been a tight bunch because there's only a few of us, but we've all had to do three people's work that people do at other clubs. So credit to them, because they you know, when we get the medals, they'll all get a medal, and they deserve it.
I remember speaking to you the first week in January when Dan Holman signed. You were very excited about bringing him in, but 14 goals in 16 games probably shows just why you were.
That's unbelievable. We felt, you know, my brother Pete got to know that he could be available. We knew who the agent was. I've dealt with the agent before at Yeovil on other players. That agent knows that I've helped some of his players become better players, which is what an agent wants. And so we sort of got first shout on him, and got him very quickly. It was coincided with Dan himself wanting to go full time and just get involved with a club that was progressive, if you like. And he fitted the bill for us, and the rest is history. He's had a fantastic season, but certainly had a fantastic half season with us. And that was the impetus that sort of took us on, because we had a person who was on the top of his game, confident in his game, and wants to shoot every opportunity, but has got the technique to score goals. And you know, that's what happened, and he's been a big part of what we've done in the second half of the season.
In a funny way, do you want his goals to stop now, just to stop alerting people that he's
I think
going to be available?
No, if he scores 10, if he scores none, you know, people will be alerted anyway. You know, I've learnt in football that, you know, people always look to see why a particular club has been successful, and sometimes it's the manager. They look. Sometimes it's the players. Sometimes it's the goalkeeper. You know, there's all different reasons that. And if you win the league, then you've been noticed. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just off to an interview now.
But with Dan, is he one of the ones you'd like to get done quickly? Well,
of course, but you know, like everyone else, there's negotiations to be done, and once I know the budget, I'll know how to spread it properly and evenly, so that, because all players talk, they say they don't, but they do, and I want to make sure, like this year, we didn't have one problem with that, because everyone knew what the structure was.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do exactly the same. Everyone will know what the structure is this time as well. When I know what the final figure is, I'll be able to divide it into, you know, in the right way to the players that are here.
Finally, 100 points is still on. Is that going
Yeah.
to form some of the team talking
Yeah,
about?
I think
these
so.
two
I
games?
think the boys will. You know, 100 points is always remembered, and it's nice to leave a bit of a legacy with the league you're coming out of. You know, a team that's reached 100 points, and it just proves how good they've been. You know, I know there's been certain games where we've been mediocre, and a few games but to win the league over a season, as I've said to you before, you've got to have been the best team, and probably having the best characters and the best personality of a winning team, because you don't win nothing if you haven't got that. And to win the league by, in the end, quite comfortably, even though we didn't feel that in the build-up, is a magnificent achievement. I've got to say, actually, at this point, he may have wanted to keep it secret, but a lovely little touch was that a bottle of Moet turned up yesterday in a package, and we thought, who's this from? And the card came out, and it's from Aidy Pennant at Forest Green. So credit to him, because he's been humble, I think, very humble in defeat, if you want to call it that way, but he certainly hasn't lost yet, because they're in the playoffs. They're probably still one of the strongest teams in those playoffs. So I thank him publicly, because that was a nice touch, and that was a bit of class there, and wish him well for the playoffs.